Yeah, we'll read it next time. It's both of them are getting to very kind of heavy things now. So we don't want to overdo it because a lot to contemplate upon.
This one is pretty heavy, because I keep thinking about it like the bliss cannot be seen, cannot be described, and it can only be experienced by the person who has already achieved it. So,
in the world also, Naresh ji, in the world, if you say मुझे कोई ऑर्डिनरी चीज़ ले लो आप, ओके, कि मेरे को बहुत आनंद आया या मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा एक्सपीरियंस, किसी को लड्डू पसंद है, लड्डू खा के आनंद आया, वेरी ordinary thing. Yeah, समझो you have feel of love, like for your grandchildren or something, the first time they do something. How can you describe anybody? The extent of it, right? There is no measure. I cannot get into your head and measure it. So we should not be so surprised about this undescribable thing, because in the worldly things also we cannot describe it. Poets can describe maybe sometimes, but not to the extent what they are experiencing still, but they are better at it. So that's how the saints and sages, see, they were saying that not all saints and sages who are self-realized can teach others because they don't know how to say it. Some become totally silent. They don't want to say it because they say, truth described is truth defiled or something. There's a saying, right? Because you can never do it. Or even forget about like feeling something inside. Suppose if you go and see something fantastic. California mein kitni sari jagah hai, which is like, or even a beautiful sunset. Sometimes this is what happens. Sunset is happening and hey, let's take picture. We all ne apne camera nikal ke picture le liye. And you look at the picture and then look at the real thing. There is no comparison. It has not captured even 10% of what you are seeing. I tried to take a picture in the middle of the night of the moon setting, and it looks like a star. The moon was looking like a star. I could not capture it. So how I can tell? So do you see the undescribable where it's coming from?
Well, I try to think about these things, like how can I relate to it? I do have some examples where I was able to relate to it. Like we saw a sunrise in Hawaii at Haleakala Mountain. And the feelings I got was unbelievable.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
And I still remember it like 15, 20 years ago, what I saw. Mm-hmm. But if somebody asked me, it may be hard for me to explain it to them, like how I felt, how good it looked, and how the colors were. So, I do go back to thinking that, hey, there are things that I have experienced and enjoyed a lot, but not able to explain it to other people.
Right. So here they are talking about, that's why there is in some Puranic story, there is, I don't know exact how they explain, they said, you take the one thing on the earth that you love the most, and then you multiply it that many times, and that is a happiness of this realized, no, not that happiness realized person. Then you take all of the earth in the universe, and uska jo Brahma ji hai, uska happiness, ऐसे करके कुछ story बनाई उन्होंने, okay? उसमें भी मल्टीप्लाई करते जाओ उससे भी ज़्यादा है ये ब्लिस. ऐसे करके छोड़ दिया उन्होंने. सो अभी जब हम लोग सोचेंगे ना कि क्या है, एंड देन इट फाइनली व्हेन दे कैन नॉट डिस्क्राइब इट, दे से इट्स इटर्नल. बिकॉज इटर्नल में देर इज नो लिमिट. सो देन दैट्स व्हाट इट्स इटर्नल हैप्पीनेस. It's like somebody asking, hey, how many waves are there in the ocean? Can we count? No. I can stand there. It has been going on for millenniums and it will continue. Then in the end, what do you say? Eternally it's coming. It's hard for us, okay, that bliss, eternal bliss. हम लोग को अगर थोड़ा भी मिल जाए उसका तो हम लोग धन्य हो जाएंगे. Yeah. So sometimes people kind of mistake about, they are in vyavhar, all these people are still in body, and body में pain भी होता है, ये भी होता है, वो भी होता है. So say, oh, if it इतना bliss है तो फिर वो, why is he crying in pain or something? But then that kind of confusion is people, they're not talking about that. It's something internal it is. Assurance in the internal, nothing has happened to me.
But look at Ramana Maharishi and all
Yes,
those
those are the examples. Exactly.
with cancer, even. But, they didn't go through, they were in pain, but they always said the body is in pain. They themselves weren't.
Exactly. And I think it was Anilji who said that he knew somebody who was going through cancer treatment, and he said that he doesn't feel the pain. So it's more like he bodily pain, he may be feeling some, but his other one is overtaking it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's why it is important to get inspired by these people, because when we look at them, we know that they are there already. And even some of these documentaries that they made on all these swamis and all that, if you get very inspired. For example, Yoganandji, it seems that there was some house over there, maybe it was here only at Encinitas, वो एक earthquake में ना वो गिर गया नीचे, whole house got destroyed, and he said he realized that God had to do that because he was getting attached to it to remind him that don't get attached to it, So.
But Umaji, one thing that really helps in life is everything, good or bad, you take it as gift from God.
Yeah, if somebody can do that, they already are like established, I would say. That somebody can do that very good. And sometimes we see people, that who lose everything and all that, and they don't get fazed. Some of these great people, हम लोग को लगता है कि अभी वो मिलियनेयर बिलियनेयर बन गए, अब कभी कभी उनकी कहानी सुनो तो मालूम पड़ता है कि क्या क्या पापड़ बेले उन्होंने, and they had that tenacity to hang in there.
Imagine sometimes something very bad happened in your life. At that time you thought, oh my God, why me, And later on you realize, my God, that was a blessing in disguise.
Yes, absolutely. A spiritual person will look at it that way very quickly, but even forget about, even if you are not spiritual, if you look after 10-15 years, you can see that because of that difficulty, you grew that much.
Right.
And that was the whole idea about this Gurukul system in the olden days, कि वो राजा का बेटा हो चाहे एकदम गरीब का, उनको same treatment देते थे वो लोग. Because they wanted to make them tough. ये नहीं कि राजा का बेटा है तो वो उसको जंगल में भी रहना आना चाहिए, कुछ भी नहीं, उसको निकाल दिया जाए घर से और ये सब, तो कैसे वो survive करेगा? See, today's world this does not happen. That's why it is there's so much mental problems, in the most क्या बोलते हैं rich country of the world, they got the maximum.
Because we desire the most.
We desire the most and we never think about the other side.
Right.
And किसी ने बोला, one of the book I was reading recently, that guy made an amazing statement. He said, what average person can get today with a click of a finger, even Raja Maharajas and the richest person in the world could not get it a few hundred years ago. Information. With the click of a finger on my table, I can get everything. I can order right now anything I want from around the world through whatever Amazon, it will come to my door. और Amazon ने तो पता नहीं क्या क्या किया हुआ है कि within limits, of course, same day भी आ सकता है. Within 3 hours you can get something and all that. He's saying how many people could, कितना भी तुम luxury, कितना भी पैसा हो, तो बोलते इतना convenient बना दिया हमारे life को physically कि इससे ज़्यादा convenient कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. But look at everybody's, फिर भी सब दुखी रो रहे हैं. Psychiatrist का नंबर बढ़ता जा रहा है. Because we have not balanced it out with this knowledge.
There's a comedian, Umagi's name is Louis Black. He said one of the best things that has happened in the last 50 years is two-day delivery by Amazon.
What delivery by Amazon?
Two-day delivery by Amazon.
2 day. And I didn't know कि Amazon you can get it the same day too. Yeah, they if you pay some extra $20 or something, certain items.
They have a 2-hour delivery for a lot of the stuff they could deliver.
Yeah, my son did it for he wanted to give me a birthday gift, and he did it, and I said, how did that come today? So he said, no, this is today's world. I wanted to do it. I was so impressed.
He made a whole episode out of that, 45 minutes talking about, he said, it makes you momentarily happy that though some stuff is coming out my door.
So I think the point this person was trying to make, that when it comes to physical luxury and physical thing, we have surpassed any time in history right now.
Any time in history.
Yeah, we have surpassed. I mean, वो जमाना अलग था. I don't know, वो मन की इच्छा से कुछ प्रकट हो जाता था. वो हम लोग नहीं कर सकते. Maybe महाभारत के टाइम पे.
Like few people in the world, but not everybody.
Yeah, exactly. But you are right. An average person who has some money in their pocket can do anything of that sort. Or information के लिए तो you don't even need money. You just need a computer. You can go to the library and do it.
But look at our desires. Amazon can deliver certain things in 2 hours. Now we are looking for the day they can drop off a cup of coffee in your backyard in 15 minutes. They are working on it.
They have those drones that could actually do it.
Yeah, right.
When it comes to tea and coffee, I want to make my own.
But nothing like being served, Umaji, like they show up, drop it off in your backyard and pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, if some other family member makes the tea and brings it to you, even that is a great thing.
Those have human touches, those have more value, no personal.
Right.
Most ladies complain about mundu,
Yeah, we don't have a mundu.
Mundu फटाफट चाय बना के ले आता था. Here you have to get up and make your own.
Yeah, we have to become mundu of each other.
Either you are the mundu for yourself.
Yeah.
Either for yourself or whoever your family member is, if they are kind enough, they might give you that
But
feeling.
while this discussion was going on, my doorbell rang and I got an Amazon delivery. So it was just so surreal in a way. But I had ordered some medicine, homeopathy, that was not available. So not always is it something luxurious or
No, that's
fancy.
true. I think that the point in Miraji is that
Yeah.
thing made us more happy. And if you say general, take a poll of happiness, do I feel more happy because of that? No, it's momentary.
Yeah.
Chahe medicine or chahe kuch bhi ho. I need something more to be.
That's true.
Yeah,
That is true.
That's exactly
That
what
is
it
true.
is. Yeah.
Because right now it was the convenience that I didn't have to run around looking for it and buying
Exactly.
it somewhere. So it just got dropped off over here. But you are right, it is momentary.
I think that as humans, we are designed to ask that question. Who am I? Where am I going? And all. And that's why no matter how much luxury we sit in, we don't feel satisfied.
That's true.
That's exactly what happened to Buddha. Because that query was there in his heart somewhere, उसके father ने उसको इतनी luxury दी कि उसको एकदम death और ये सब चीज से दूर रखा. Right? But जैसे ही थोड़ा सा हुआ तो उसका पूरा वो question इतना strong बन गया उसके दिमाग में कि he had to leave everything to find the answer. So that's an extreme example.
I want to ask you a question about Buddha. Buddha was silent on the question of God. Was it because when people are seeking God, their mind may be agitated if they cannot see God?
See what this
He
is
was
what
able to see God.
yes and no, because he never spoke about it, so we'll never know. But Sarva Priyananji was talking about that whole thing, and he get it very nicely. So he said that उनके जो चेले थे ना, वो कुछ ऐसे प्रश्न पूछते थे, so is God there or not there? And he said, I didn't say anything. He didn't even want to address that. And one of the things what I have learned over the years, going to Chinmaya Mission and all that, the saints and sages when they come, or Buddha or avatars when they come, they always come for a specific reason. That's why they take a certain form and they come to fix something, right? Or help somebody or things like that. So the demand of that time was that people were suffering physically a lot, and his main thing was how to alleviate that suffering. And don't even go to the arena of, self-realization. Hey, suffering khatam ho jaye, that's good enough.
That's good. Right.
So that's why he focused on that, because he himself had suffered like that in the childhood. Mentally suffering. Obviously, physically we were talking about he was given every luxury, but mentally he was like disturbed when he would see all the 4 things that he saw. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, they call it. Old age, disease and birth and death. So they come for a specific reason. So we have to just respect that. So you can't compare. Like, for example, ये सिख लोगों के कौन है? Guru Nanak ji. Right? Guru Nanak Dev ji came and he was against all the rituals. Doesn't mean ritual is bad, but in Shastras they don't say ritual is bad. But अगर overly कोई ritualistic हो जाए, तो फिर उसका नुकसान हो रहा था लोगों का. तो बोला बंद करो ये सब, इक्वालिटी ये वो. So उनको correction करने के लिए. But what Sarvapriyanand ji talks about, Vedanta has a complete scope of it. It wants to take you from nothing to the highest and everything in between. So Vedanta is complete. And he was also talking about, and we have seen the difference between different meditational styles, that lot of like Vipassana. Vipassana doesn't talk about God, because it's a Buddhist type of thing, right? So they just tell you to go and, sit and meditate, and life is kind of changing and all that. They are kind of on the same page like Vedanta, no doubt. But never talks about the self.
No.
But Bhagavad Gita is very strong on the self. Right? Because it's like, hey, focus on the self. So that is the difference between different meditational technique and what Bhagavad Gita and the Vedanta is telling at the highest level.
Umaji, but if you have heard Swami Sarvapriyanandaji, he's also mentioned that shunya in Buddha and the completeness
It's the
in
same.
this is the same.
Exactly. They call it shunya, we call it purna. Now you
Purna,
decide
yeah.
what would you like.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same. Because
It's the same.
you cannot describe, you cannot say anything. Therefore, they went silent.
Yeah.
to it.
And then if you see the whole philosophy and Buddhism, it is that the world is a dukkhalaya. There's only dukh. Usse paar kaise nikla jaye. That is the main thing.
So, Umaji, but and Meena ji, when you reach the stage of shunya, you do self-realize at that time.
But you cannot answer, right?
You cannot answer. No, you cannot answer. But you do realize self.
Yeah, but if you say, I realize, nobody's going to believe you.
Right. You cannot describe it. You cannot describe it.
So,
And people don't. I mean, you saw in the history that Jesus को तो वो उन्होंने सूली पे चढ़ा दिया.
yeah.
He was a self-realized soul. Because if it is Yogananda who takes Bible and he analyzes it, and it is just like a Vedanta. There are so many verses. I was amazed that he had used a mystical language in like Jesus और उनके जो 4 चेलों ने जो बनाया किया उनकी words के ऊपर किया, right? So they have things like I don't know exact, but उसका connotation ऐसा है कि एक सुई में से ना ऊंट निकालने के बराबर है ये, something like that, because this person is like, so he said that space is actually the same, either whether it's eye of the needle or it is the entire galaxy wala space. So if you go to the element of it, then ऊंट भी निकल सकता है space से, or something like that. I don't know exact. I'm just telling you that the way the mystical language he has used, people get totally confused. But these Mahatmas, they analyze that here, what he was trying to say. Or his statement, not man. Man is the image of God. ऐसा कुछ है ना? Some of the Christian people who went to Christian school, they can. I don't know exact statement that humans are like God made humans in his own image.
Yes.
Yeah. The Lord made man in his own image.
Own image.
Man meaning human.
Human.
Standing for.
So what, I mean, Vedant ho gaya ki nahi? Think about it. Because what the Vedant say, that we are the reflection of God. वहाँ पर image word use किया, इधर ये कर दिया. It's the same. उन बेचारों को सूली पे चढ़ा दिया उन्होंने. But they didn't understand, like you were saying, that whatever he was saying, they misunderstood it to the extent.
But Jesus knew that उसको वो crucify करेंगे, and his crucifixion changed the life of the Christianity forever.
Right, exactly. So see, he looked at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
It's like he sacrificed himself to elevate other people. Absolutely right. And those kind of examples are in our Puranic stories are all the time there. You know, there was the Rishi, the Diji, you know, somebody said, we need your bones because we have to make this weapon to kill the bad guys. So he gave up his body.
Right.
You know?
Exactly the same.
So, I mean, same thing. And then they have the resurrection of Jesus. I don't know how to say the word, but he came back, right?
Yeah.
For the people. So there's when the people say, oh, I don't believe in reincarnation. Hey, what is this then?
Yeah.
I don't believe in afterlife. What is this then? So many things are basically coming back to that Buddha or different saints and sages, they have a very specific purpose. And that's why the personality of Krishna versus Rama is different. It's the same, you know, Vishnu avatar. But look at how different they are. You know, because he came for a specific purpose.
For a different purpose, yeah.
Yes. And then you see different saints also. Like Buddha was born in a family of kings. There are some are born, you know, that some other saints and sages, they are born in poverty. So
but most of the Hindu, जो भी अवतार कहिए जो भी, they were all born in royal families, and I think the reason is that people tend to look up to people who are influential and powerful or rich, whatever, and they tend to follow that example more than अगर कोई फकीर है तो उसको follow करेंगे. So maybe that was the reason.
Yeah, that you can say that, but if you go by the Shavatar, then even Vishnuji came as a fish, and he came as a kurma, and
yes,
he came. So there is a variety again.
Very true.
We get stuck on just two avatars, and we say, oh, that's it, but that's not true.
Yeah, very
Right?
true.
And in fact,
that.
that in the Puranas there are two different things. One is Dashavatar, Dasavatar. One is 24 avatars. I don't know if you have heard of that. 24 mein Buddha also comes. Buddha is the 23rd. But the 24th abhi aaya nahi hai. It's a Kalki, they call it.
Okay,
Yeah. 24th is going to come. 23rd is Buddha. So Buddha is considered avatar. Even Parshuram is considered as avatar. You know, so I think अगर पुराण और ये ले लो ना अपना वेदांत, उसमें सब कुछ समाहित है. कोई चीज दुनिया में ऐसी नहीं है, कोई रिचुअल, कोई ये नहीं कि जो ना हो उसमें. It is such a complete science. It's just mind-boggling. And the more and more, somebody put up a story about Chandra. You know, एक कहानी है चंद्र की, उसकी कई wives थी, and then he favored one, and then ये वो. Somebody put a whole scientific reason behind it, and it's mind-boggling. I'm going to share it with you guys. You know, we have this group OMG, and उसमें से किसी ने डाला था वो, और बहुत अच्छी story, how it connects to the modern science. उन्होंने modern science का fact लेके और उसको story रूप में बोल दिया.
Maji, in the Somnath temple, when you go there, they have a light and sound show based on the same story.
Okay. But उसका scientific fact from the astronomy point of view, they mentioned that how somebody did a research on it. Why did they make that story? And it matches with some astronomical facts of different, that how, you know, the moon covers certain nakshatras. And each nakshatra को एक wife बना दिया. But there is one that it doesn't cover very much, and that's the Rohini or something like that, and which he favored.
But they were all sisters, you know, so
that was a story, but it was such a brilliant story. जैसे कि कोई fact होता है, like our acharya used to say that, you know, a 2-year-old ask you, hey, how does the rain happen? Okay, he's saying you're not going to sit there and say, you know, this kind of पानी सोख लेता है, फिर ऊपर जाता है, फिर ये होता है. You're not going to tell all the scientific fact. You're going to just make up some story. Oh, you know, there is one elephant which lives over there. जब वो ऐसे सूंड से पानी निकालता है ना, तो रेन आती है.
Rain aati, yeah.
Like that you might tell him, you know. So I think that Puranic stories are like that. They thought that these guys were not going to understand all these nakshatra and all that. So story from me bata lo, but yaad rahegi fir humko bhi, you know, because there is symbolism in each one of them. So we may look down, okay, oh, this cannot happen, but these are symbolic stories that has a lot of scientific fact behind it. And these days, you know, with internet and all that, people exchange of ideas are happening a lot more easily. And if some really good story is there, it very quickly it can become viral, like they call it in the modern world. So there are sometimes, you know, same story, somebody will post it after 1 year. That also happens. Anyway, so we'll see you everybody next time.
Hari Om, Mamaji.
Hari Om, everyone. Hari Om.
Hari
Hari Om.
Hari Om.